Hello, today we're disassembling the ASUS TUF Gaming A16 for a repair guide. Before starting, ensure that you back up your files. Also, have all parts ready. First, check the safety precautions in the ASUS service manual. Next, take proper ESD precautions and power off the laptop. Remove screw 12 pieces. Use the non-conductive pry tool to pry the base case. Remove the base case. Assemble the base case at a slight tilt at upper side first. Press the upper side of base case to fix from right to left. Put the base case down slowly. Press left and right side of base case to fix. Press lower side of base case to fix. Fasten screw 12 pieces. Tear off the dim RFL foil mylar. Use the non-conductive pry tool to disconnect battery connector. Use the non-conductive pry tool to connect battery connector from black cable side first. Connect the red cable side. Push the iron sheet in. Paste the dim RFL foil mylar. Remove the SSD1 screw. Remove the SSD1. Remove the SSD AL foil from the SSD1. Tear off the SSD absorber from the SSD1. Tear off the SSD label from the SSD absorber. Paste the SSD label back to the old SSD1. Paste the SSD absorber on the SSD1. Make sure the SSD1 is properly inserted into the slot. Put the SSD AL foil into SSD1. Fasten the screw on the SSD1. Remove the SSD2 screw. Remove the SSD2. Remove the SSD AL foil from the SSD2. Tear off the SSD absorber from the SSD2. Tear off the SSD label from the SSD absorber. Paste SSD label back to the old SSD2. Paste the SSD absorber on the SSD2. Make sure the SSD2 is properly inserted into the slot. Put the SSD AL foil into SSD2. Fasten the screw on the SSD2. Unlock and remove RAM module 2 pieces. Tear off MB RAM absorbers 2 pieces from the front and back of the RAM. Tear off the RAM label from the MB RAM absorber. Paste the RAM label back to the old RAM. Paste MB RAM absorber onto the front and rear side of the new RAM. Align and insert the new RAM module at 30 degrees into the memory slot and push down the RAM module until it clicks in place. Remove screw 3 pieces. Remove the battery. Remove the battery cable. Assemble the battery cable to the battery. Align the screw holes to assemble the battery. Fasten screw 3 pieces. Disconnect and remove the USB FFC. Remove the screw 1 piece. Remove the USB board. Align the screw holes to assemble the USB board. Fasten the screw 1 piece. Connect the USB FFC. Disconnect Wi-Fi antenna connector 2 pieces. Remove the screw 1 piece. Remove the wireless LAN card. Insert the wireless LAN card into the slot. Fasten the screw 1 piece. Connect Wi-Fi antenna connector 2 pieces to the wireless LAN card. Release the EDP cable tape. Disconnect the EDP cable connector 1 piece. Follow the reverse screw numbers to remove screw 9 pieces. Remove the thermal module. Align the screw holes to assemble the thermal module. Follow the screw numbers to lock the screw 9 pieces. Paste the EDP cable tape. Connect the EDP cable. Disconnect the connector. Remove the screw 2 pieces. Remove the thermal GPU fan. Disconnect the connector. Remove the screw 2 pieces. Remove the thermal CPU fan. Align the screw holes to assemble the thermal GPU fan. Fasten the screw 2 pieces. Connect the connector. Align the screw holes to assemble the thermal CPU fan. Fasten the screw 2 pieces. Connect the connector. Disconnect all of the connectors. Remove screw 4 pieces. Remove the mainboard. Align the I/O port holes to assemble the mainboard onto the keyboard module. Fasten screw 4 pieces. Connect all connectors. Flip the mylar on the LED board module. Release the gasket. Remove the LED board module. Remove the LED BDL foil. Remove the top LED sponge. Turn the LED board to the other side. Disconnect the LED FFC. Paste the new top LED sponge on the keyboard module. Tear off the release paper. Paste the new LED BDAL foil on the keyboard module. Tear off the release paper. Connect LED FFC to the LED board. Assemble the LED board onto the keyboard module. Reattach the gasket to the keyboard module. Cover the mylar on the LED board module. Release the Wi-Fi antenna cable from the cable management hook. Release the speaker wire from cable management hooks. Remove the speaker from the keyboard module. Align the rubber holes to assemble the speaker onto the keyboard module. Tidy up the speaker cables. Place the antenna cable into the cable management hook. Disconnect and remove the TPFFC. Remove screw 3 pieces on the touchpad module. Slightly lift up the TP module and remove it. Assemble the touchpad module onto the keyboard module. Fasten screw 3 pieces. Connect and paste the TPFFC to the touchpad module. Remove screw 4 pieces. Lift the keyboard module and separate it from the LCD module. Assemble the keyboard module to the LCD module. Cover the left and right hinges down to the keyboard module. Fasten screw 4 pieces. Tear off the aux antenna. Tear off the main antenna. Remove the antennas from keyboard module. Remove the antenna fix acetate cloth. Paste the AX antenna onto the keyboard module. Paste the main antenna onto the keyboard module. Tidy up the antenna's cable. Paste the antenna fix acetate cloth on keyboard module. Remove Bezel cosmetic mylar 2 pieces. Remove screw 2 pieces on both sides. Use a non-conductive pry tool to pry the lower right and lower left corners of the bezel. Flip the inner edge of the bezel outward to release the hooks and separate the bezel from the panel. Use a non-conductive pry tool to pry off the bottom of the bezel. Insert a plastic card from the bottom of the bezel to gradually separate the adhesive between the bezel and the panel. Remove the bezel from the panel. Paste new LCD bezel adhesive on the back of LCD bezel. Paste new LCD bezel adhesive on the back of LCD bezel. Tidy up the EDP cable onto the LCD cover. Tear off the release paper. Aligning the hinge position in the left and right lower corners. Press in the bottom side clips. Press in the left side clips. Snap in the bezel's right side and top side clips. Fasten screw 2 pieces. Paste new bezel cosmetic mylar 2 pieces to cover the screws. Remove screw 3 pieces. Remove hinge L. Remove screw 3 pieces. Remove hinge R. Assemble the hinge L to the LCD cover. Fasten screw 3 pieces. Assemble the hinge R to the LCD cover. Fasten screw 3 pieces. Pull out LCD cover tape 2 pieces. The LCD panel. Disconnect the EDP cable. Paste new LCD cover tape 2 pieces to the LCD cover. Connect the EDP cable connector to the LCD panel. Tear off release paper 2 pieces. Align the LCD panel with the upper side LCD cover, then assemble the LCD panel to the LCD cover. Disconnect the camera connector. Release the gaskets. Remove the EDP cable from the LCD cover. Use a plastic blade to insert under the camera and slide it parallel to the left to remove the camera module. Remove mic rubber 2 pieces from the camera. Paste mic rubber 2 pieces to the camera. Align and assemble the camera to the LCD cover using the camera holes. Connect the EDP cable connector. Tidy up the EDP cable on the LCD cover. Paste the gasket. Tidy up the EDP cable on the LCD cover. Paste the gasket. Tidy up the EDP cable on the LCD cover. If you need to replace the LCD cover, please follow the repair flow. Welcome to subscribe to ASUS support channel. Like the video or share your comments below. We are happy to provide you with more useful information.